Hello, podcast listener. If you listen to this episode of JJ Meets World and you're hungry, you're only going to get more hungry. But I'm going to help you satisfy that hunger in a way that no Snickers bar ever could. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of JJ Meets World. And by the way, if you'd like to help support our podcast, visit jjmeetsworld.com where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some killer swag at our merch shop, or click the link to Apple Podcast and give us a 5-star review.
1, 2, 3, 4. JJ Gordon, sort of like that Indiana Jones, in that he's always sniffing out his next adventure. Yes, he is. He's always interviewing guests so he can have them on his show and they can talk about pop culture, arts, and leisure. JJ has his flag unfurled and he likes his french fries curled, and he's fun and then he twirls as he goes to meet the world. He will march into the rain even if his ankle sprained. Take a peek inside his brain. This podcast is called JJ Meets World.
Tucker, I'm going to say one of the top 3 worst brunch experiences I've ever had today.
Oh, no, that is sacred territory.
Yep. Literally, because today, as we're recording it, is Easter. It was an Easter Sunday brunch, and it was lacking in every way possible. Now, this is what I'm looking for. So I am somebody who loves a good brunch. I love a brunch buffet specifically. So there are plenty of places who are like, hey, come on in and have brunch. And they've got just a weird version, like it's part of our breakfast menu, but it's also part of our lunch menu. And that's fine. But what I seek out is a brunch buffet. And I go to them on a regular basis. There are many places that do it every single Sunday and Saturday. There's places that only do it on holidays like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter. And this is a place that is in a hotel. And there's a restaurant inside the hotel, and it said the restaurant was hosting this. So I'm like, oh, I've had good experiences at this restaurant. But when I get there, no. The restaurant is not hosting the brunch. Their, banquet area is hosting the brunch. And so that should be the first red flag. So then we get out there, and there is seating outside of this main banquet hall. Just road seating. And I'm like, oh, so you're expecting such a long wait that you have rows of seating available for people. This also does not bode well. Red flag number 2.
Yeah.
Our reservation was for 9:45 a.m. So we get in there. There's 5 other people.
May I say, that is a solid time for brunch.
It's a great time for brunch, because especially on Easter, because it's prior to church letting out. So you're beating the church crowd there for it, right?
And also, if you're going to really enjoy the brunch, you probably skip breakfast, right? So that you would, right? So at that moment, you're now primed. That's where a hunger pang is going to hit you. 9:45.
Dude, I hadn't even had a Diet Coke yet.
Wow.
I was waiting for this experience. So. And this is what I expect from a brunch buffet. The buffet is all up to me. I'm going to choose my portions. I'm going to choose what I'm going to have. I will wait in line at the Omelette center. But there is still a wait staff there. And the wait staff's job is to do things like, hey, I'm going to bring you, can I get anyone something to drink other than water? Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
Well, so we get there at 9:40. And we're told, well, you're going to have to wait because we don't open until 10. And these managers keep coming in and out of the banquet hall to talk to the 2 women who are running the, check-in area. And we confirmed that, no, our reservation was for 9:45. And they had sent a calendar invite with the reservation. And then we noticed that they had gone in and changed the calendar reservation, where it strikes through 9:45 and then changes it till 10 a.m. So I'm like, oh, well, that pisses me off. And it's clear that this thing isn't supposed to open until 10, right? So there's already tension. By the time 10 a.m. rolls around, there's a bunch of people in this lobby space, and they're waiting to get in. And they are like, well, we'll take everyone by who was here first. Well, you know how you do that? You start a line, but you told us that there is no line. So it becomes chaos. It becomes the wild, wild west. And I can hear some older folks who are very angry being like, well, we're supposed to be. And they finally open the doors and we are seated. We're seated at the most awkward table ever. And it's a party of 5. No Nev Campbell, though.
Great show.
We're great show. So we get in there, and they're like, okay, well, you can go help yourself. There's 2 buffet lines on either side of the meat carving station, which is in the center of this ballroom. And the manager who seats us says, the buffets are exactly the same on both sides, but there's only desserts on one side. So I noticed that they have like a beverage station, and the beverage station has 3 juices and some coffee. So I'm like, oh, you're going to go up and get your own coffee and stuff like that. Okay. And that immediately says to me, there is no soda option this morning. So, and then I noticed that they're opening a bar, like in the way left corner, like this is a wedding, right? Like they're opening this bar up, but there's nothing like, hey, Bloody Mary special. There's nothing that says like, hey, enjoy your regular brunch fun. So I get up there and I immediately am so turned off by this buffet, and I can tell. So the first thing that's sitting there are white bowls. One is filled with just loose egg salad, and another one is filled with potato salad.
So the things that were just sitting in the fridge that they could unwrap real quick.
Right. Well, and also like the potato salad I get, right? Like, okay. But loose egg salad, like you're not even going to try and put that on a bun. You're not even putting it close to buns or anything like that. And then I thought maybe it's a deconstructed deviled egg, but it is also it looks just disgusting. And like for me, you can smell the mayonnaise and the mustard. It is just wafting through the air. So they also have
deviled egg.
That's the title of the.
We're going to capture that right now. I think I want to start pointing these things out, and then people can find out which one it is we end up with. But deconstructed deviled egg, that is a solid episode title right there. I'm sorry, continue.
Might even be a good podcast just in general. So then there's a giant thing of fruit, and this is what I noticed immediately. There are barely any strawberries in this mixed fruit. Now, usually, if you're smart, you don't mix all the fruit together. You don't put a giant fruit plate out. Either you lovingly put together like a charcuterie tray of fruit, or you put like the strawberries in one bowl and the melon in another bowl and something like that. No, they just put a giant plate out that had everything together, and all of their cantaloupe had green rind on it. Like they clearly hadn't cut it well enough, and they're like, we'll just put it out there. Those simps will eat anything.
Most of the food that you've listed so far, if not all of it, I have to kind of go back through the list, is food I wouldn't touch even on a good buffet.
Right. Oh, exactly. Because also it's Easter, and it's important to note that. Right. So then the first chafing dish I open, it smells so heavily of rosemary, your eyes start to water, and it's cut up squash, so it must be some kind of spring squash with rosemary, but it's diced. Like these things are diced really tiny, and I'm like, well, no thank you. So the next is they've got multicolored carrots, and they're full-size carrots with the stems on still, but they're the multicolored ones. I put the tongs in to grab one. They are not cooked at all. They are uncooked, like just warmed up carrots that they threw a little olive oil on. Like to the point of where the one I ate, it was crunch, 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 crunch. So I take one of those. The next thing is mashed potatoes that are, like how do you mess up mashed potatoes, right? But I noticed that it's skin on mashed potatoes. So it looks exactly like the potato salad. Almost exactly like the potato salad. Then the next one I open are slices of ham. After that, and I was like, I recognize the shape
slices
of this
of
ham.
Like, are we talking? Yeah, how big is slices?
I would say they're probably 2/4 thick.
So it's not like deli ham.
No, okay. But it's not far off.
Okay.
The next thing I open after that is like roast beef that looks like it's been there since yesterday. Like it looks so dry.
This whole thing sounds like a divorced dad put it together last minute when he realized what day it was.
Right, exactly. Like, 100%.
What do I got in the fridge?
And so I'm thinking like, well, there's no way that this can like I'm down. There's one chafing dish left after this, and I said, first of all, there's nothing breakfast related here. There's not an egg bake. There's nothing. And then I noticed there's not I was like, if this last one is not a pasta dish or a fish, we're in serious trouble here. And I open up the last one, and it's not even like a sweet or anything like that. It's what was in that last one? Whatever it was, I didn't take it. It didn't look good. And then there was a pool of brown gravy. And I'm like, okay, so you chose a beef gravy on a day when ham is your number one meat?
When you say pool, it sounds like it's not in something. It sounds like it has pooled on the table.
It might as well have just been pooled on the table. It was in like this weird like heating like element, but it's hard to tell like because the ladle they put in it is so small and it's so thick and clumpy that when you turned it over like it didn't want to come out. I watched the guy in front of me take some of this gravy and he didn't go for it. And I love gravy.
And it was a powder basically. They mixed in with stuff.
Yes.
It's still clumpy. Yeah.
Yep.
Was there even a skin on the top?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big skin.
Ugh.
Big skin on the top.
Yeah. Not presentable.
No, not presentable. Then there was a small dish of butters, and then there were buns that you could take.
Isn't there supposed to be someone who like tends to all of that? Like, hey, someone hasn't been to the gravy for a minute. Let me just give it a quick mix here so it doesn't get a skin.
There should be. Also, this is not a gravy holiday. I mean, all they did was they were like, hey, listen, I swear to God, this is honestly what I thought. They had a wedding there that night, and no one chose the beef option. So they're like, oh, we'll get rid of the gravy and the roast beef, and we'll be done with it. Then there's a carving station, and this carving station makes no fucking sense at all. Like I get up there and I was like, oh, it's gonna be prime rib, and he goes, how about some brisket? And I go, oh, okay. And he goes, and right next door we got turkey. So I was like, okay. So I got brisket, I got turkey. There's no omelet station. There's nothing breakfast related. There's no bacon. There's no sausage. There's no pasta dish. There's nothing for anyone who doesn't like meat. Like, if you don't like meat, your choices are like raw carrots and mashed potatoes. Like, that's your only and the rosemary squash. So I immediately I'm like, I don't like this. This isn't good. Like, this is so not good that it's actually ruined me today. And I sit there thinking about the strongly worded letter I'm going to write to this hotel and say, I will never, first of all, the food was bad. It was so bad, and it was like banquet level food. Now the thing is, this banquet room must be set up to seat 250 people, and there are maybe a dozen tables occupied. Like, they did not need to worry so much about this. And these two managers, one bald motherfucker, and this other guy who has this... No. But here's the thing. Here's what you have to understand. He's super bald, and his, compatriot...
No. I'm shouting him out. I'm saying hi to him. I'm saying hi. I'm saying, hey, man.
Is that how you bald men are so aggressive?
No, it's mistaken as aggression towards you. It has nothing... I'm saying that to him. I'm like...
Gotcha.
I'm just like, hey, man, because he can feel it.
His compatriot.
The people don't know that about us. That's why we're like this. Is that we have this
the hair
extra
comes
sensory,
out?
And your hair follicles can't survive being bombarded with the bald network. So,
the bald network. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, his compatriot is the exact opposite. He's got this long flowing hair that goes down to his shoulder, and they both look like they are douchebags.
People with good flow have their own network as well. By the way,
it is.
I'm told. I don't have that flow, so I'm not tapped in. You also don't have that flow, so you're not tapped in. But
no, I'm not. No, but I've got Riz, is what the kids say.
But these two people show up, and it sounds like they're out of central casting. It sounds like Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, honestly, I would imagine that at one point they ran a Ponzi scheme together. Maybe they still are, but Brunch costs $30 a person. And I like it's honestly it has sullied my opinion of this place so much that not only will I send a strongly worded letter, but I will never. And here's the thing: not that you need to bow down and kiss my egg bake ring that I wear on Sundays, but I keep myself pretty dialed into the brunch scene around here, and they will now be forever shunned from any brunch mentions that I do.
Have you ever referred to yourself as sort of the unofficial concierge to the FM area? Because you kind of can be if you need to, right? Like if someone wanted to be like, hey, I'm an unofficial concierge to this area, I would say, well, JJ fits that bill. He can perform that task. He would know what to do.
I like that a lot. I would appreciate, like, just tell me where you're staying.
Well, okay.
And I will help you.
Well, let's put it this way. How about this? On the topic of buffets, let's say a family of 4 comes down from Canada, and they're like, "Listen, we're staying, downtown, but we don't need to eat near there. We can really go anywhere, and we really need, the best brunch experience that we can find in this area, and also we want to go bowling." What do you say? Oh yeah,
you're gonna go to Kingpin's.
But what about is the buffet there awesome as well?
Well. While it's not the best buffet in town, you park once and it scratches both itches.
That's a good point.
It is a perfectly serviceable buffet, and then you can go bowling immediately without having to put your coats back on.
You know what makes you such a great concierge is you don't just have suggestions of where to go. You know how to manage time, right? You're going, hey, listen, I really want you to get the most out of this. And so the best bang for your buck is probably going to be this situation. I could send you over here for a superior buffet experience, or I could send you over in that direction where they have galactic bowling all week long. But instead, I'm going to send you here because I think you're going to get the best bang for your buck.
I would also be judging like from their children's ages, right? So like if their kids were, ankle biters, right? Like we're saying like up to, I would say age like 11, 12, Kingpins just make sense because like there's, it's more for the kids than it is for the adults. Now, if you have like older teenage children who are you're with, like maybe like your daughter's about to graduate and she's planning on going to the U of M, so we know that she wants a bigger city experience, and your son who has recently decided that he needs to come out to his parents. Like, so I can tell the vibe of this family just by them.
But he wants to do it in a public space just in case Dad doesn't react well.
Bingo, exactly. Just in case. I would be like, okay, gang, I know you're staying. I would say, are you looking for a brunch buffet, or are you looking for a place that serves great breakfast but also lunch items as well? And that, it would change my recommendation for what they want. Also, like, are you looking for a touristy type place, or are you looking for something where the locals go? I mean, also, I'm going to throw this out there, and it needs to be said. Granite City calls their brunch the Lawless Brunch. What kind of branding is that?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Like, are you hoping to get more cowboys involved? By the way, I gotta.
Is it so good it's illegal? Is it only criminals like it?
Right, like I can do whatever I want. Like, listen, I'm gonna someone sneaks in line, I'm gonna murder them, and it's okay.
He did it in the buffet line. He did it in the buffet line.
He's fine. He shot him by the omelet bar at high noon.
There's a second one. Shot him by the omelet bar is another solid title. Before we end this episode, JJ, we'll have a discussion over which of these titles we're gonna do. But shot him by the omelet bar is pretty damn good.
So, I have got to tell you about an improv scene that my high school kids did that just floored me, and I keep thinking about it. So, the scene starts off with like one person walking on, and I think the springboard was Cowboy. So they're walking on bull-legged, with the spurs, and they got their hands down by their pistols, and another person walks on the other side of the stage and goes, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. And then another person walks in like, no, this town ain't big enough for the thrice of us. And they all kind of pull their guns at each other. And it just seems like, okay, well, that's what this premise is. And then this other student walks in and goes, like, hi, I'm so glad you guys could be here for the Pride Parade. Like, are you registered yet? And they go, no, we ain't registered. And she's like, that's okay. Don't worry, because everyone is welcome.
Nice.
And it becomes about these cowboys participating in the Old West's first Pride Parade, and it
what a
lasts
great concept.
It's such a great, and like it ends like 30 seconds later with one of them stepping forward and like shooting their six shooters in the air and goes like there's room for everyone. And I honestly was like, gang, this is one of the best premises for a scene that I think I have ever seen in my life.
That is pretty damn good.
It was so good.
There's no question that's pretty damn good.
And like every now and then you just need something that really sticks to you, which is what you should want after a buffet. Like this is the thing. My buffet, I had one plate.
That was my next question was, did you go back for seconds?
No, I didn't even go back for a dessert.
Did you finish your plate? Did you clear it?
No. I left a big, like the bun was underdone, and I left like the uncooked carrot like after I took 2 bites of it. I felt like Bugs Bunny chomping on a carrot.
So
also,
which
the mayor
direction,
of West Fargo was also there, and I don't think that he was happy either. Which
direction do you then go? Do you go letter to the company, or do you do letter to the editor?
Oh, I would never. I don't need to air this out in public. When I write a strongly worded letter, it is intended for that company, and it's never. I almost always say, I am not looking for like retribution. I am not looking for you to give me anything back. I am simply telling you this to improve your ability to serve your customer base. And occasionally I get this like letter back that's like a form letter with just like $20 of like gift cards for that company in there. And I think to myself, you didn't even bother to read my letter. You don't care.
General estimate. How many letters like this would you estimate you've written and mailed in your adult life?
Maybe 30.
Okay. So I bet, I would love to know the percentage. I wonder how many of those ended up in a scene where a manager is reading it out to their employees in like a you cannot be like this. How dare you let it slip? And they go, signed JJ Gordon of Fargo, North Dakota. And so like there's at least there's a solid chance there's like at least 15 to 20 like restaurant workers out there who like, I don't know who this fucking JJ guy is, but I hate his guts. So because he got us in trouble.
Yesterday was the 11-year anniversary of a very heated letter I wrote to a local ice creamery. And the reason I wrote it was I had ordered a hot fudge sundae.
How do you know the date? Did you put it on a calendar?
No, like it popped up like in a memory of mine. And I had just recently talked about it with the person who manages this establishment now.
Okay.
I went to a local ice cream place and I ordered a hot fudge sundae, and they handed it to me, and I walked away. And usually I'm driving, so I don't get to enjoy my treat until I get home. And I open it up and I take one bite, and like, it's not hot fudge, it's chocolate syrup. And there's a huge difference between hot fudge and chocolate syrup. A massive difference. Huge difference. And I was like, you are the one business in town that should know the difference between hot fudge and chocolate syrup. If I walked into a gas station and they did this, no big deal, because they're more concerned with oil changes. Your whole business is built around knowing the difference between hot fudge and chocolate syrup. Educate your employees.
Okay, and with that, I think we're gonna add.
We're gonna decide.
We're gonna decide. Well. I was gonna add the difference between hot fudge and chocolate syrup, but I think that's a runner-up. You know, I think that's a runner-up title. Maybe it's a subtitle, but the two titles we have are Deconstructed Deviled Egg and Shot 'Em by the Omelette Bar. I'm kind of pro Shot 'Em by the Omelette Bar. What do you think?
I really think that I think, in all honesty, if I were just browsing Spotify and I saw that title, I would click on it way sooner than not that Deconstructed Deviled Egg isn't a bad title, but I just feel like Shot 'Em by the Omelette Bar is. I mean, that maybe gets us into the true crime section for one episode.
It makes you wonder, when was the first omelet bar? Because was it in the time where gunfights were happening over decks of cards, card games and stuff?
Right.
And so I got to imagine at some point in a saloon, they had something akin to an omelet bar, and that's where that took place.
That's going to wrap it up for today's show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help us continue to produce new episodes each week, visit jjmeetsworld.com, where you can donate to our Patreon, pick up some swag at the merch shop, or follow our link to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the sites the cool kids are using these days. JJ Meets World is produced every week by Tucker Lucas. You can find out more about Tucker's work by visiting moonbasemaria.com. If you want to get in touch with your host with the most, check out linebenders.com, where you can find direct contact info for JJ or booking information. I won't tell you the name of the business, but I will tell you this. If you study rivers, it's a part of a river.